Good day of the week, listeners. It's ya boy Crispy, and you are tuned in to Final Thoughts Media Podcast Edition. So open your ears and have a great day on purpose.
Alright, y'all, welcome back. I am here and I have currently been rewatching Avatar The Last Airbender, and I'm currently on the Day of Black Sun. Honestly, if the creators of Avatar The Last Airbender ever do decide to listen to this podcast, please show us what Iroh did to these people. I'm currently, like I said, in the episode Black Sun, and just watching Zuko come in and being like, "Where is he?" And they're just like, "He was just a monster." And just seeing the bars and everything, I'm just like, "What did this man do?" It's crazy. Oh man. But other than that, what else has been happening in my life? Really nothing. Honestly, like I said last time, I moved and I'm very happy. I will eventually show you guys my little studio I've got going here. It's pretty cool. I've got my Winnie the Poohs up here, and I do say Winnie the Poohs as in a double because I've got the one that I've had since I was a child, and then I got a new one. It is the 80th anniversary stuffed animal, and I love it. I truly do. I truly do. But y'all didn't come here to hear what I'm doing with my life. Y'all are here to listen to me talk about different shows and different movies. So today we are talking about My Pride, episode 1 called No Mane. This is another YouTube show made in 2020 by Tribble of Doom, but I'm going to call it Tribal of Doom because I think that's what they really meant or how they wanted it said. But if not, hopefully they listen to it and correct me. Alright, this episode is 14 minutes long and 38 seconds. It is produced by Devin, I'm going to try that last name, Lengiel? I'm going to say that. And also produced by IPF and Ontario Creates. The cast is Caitlin Brock, who is a sister. She's the cub version of her. Oh, by the way, this is lions. If you haven't noticed, most of these are all the animals here are lions. Sarah Moscato is Fire, which, come on, that is a great last name. Sarah Moscato is Fire. Archer Casey is Spark. Helen O'Connor is Power Strike, the mother. Shayla Kirkham is Sharp Tongue, the grandmother. And Sage Hayden is Starmane. They didn't have a description of this episode, so I made my own. If the creators of this show ever do see it, I hope that you guys, I hope you like it. I hope I did it justice. An epic tale of light, darkness, and hardship will determine the fate of these 3 cubs as they try to traverse life as children in a harsh world. Now, I'm saying this because I know probably some of you have watched it, or if you haven't, you can go and binge watch it here on YouTube. Well, I don't know if you're listening on YouTube, but you can binge watch it on YouTube. And it is currently 10 episodes long, I believe. Yes, it is currently 10 episodes long. So we're going to get right into this episode. And immediately as they introduce this episode, it is said that it's not meant for children, or at least not without some parental supervision. And honestly, this is really why I love this show, because it's very violent, it's very gory, and like it said in the beginning, it actually says it in the title, since My Pride, then it's like someone actually says this, it gives a disclaimer, sudden violence, blood, and gore. And then we get into it, and we get in with the grandmother, Sharp Tongue, telling the cubs a story about how, the prides became to be. And obviously they've heard this story before. It's kind of like if you've seen Moana and how, the grandmother's telling this grandiose story, and then, you flash into the real world. Yes, it's kind of like that. Um, and the way that they explain this myth of their world is actually very deep, yet so simple. There's good, there's bad, and then there's the natural order of things. And honestly, like I said, I've seen all the other episodes, and I'm reviewing this or trying to review this as if I've only seen it once, and I'm very biased. But obviously, there's more to it than this, and I'm not gonna spoil that part. That is, I want you guys to go see this. Go on YouTube, watch this. So, in this, they also say something about a lion named Karabi, which sounds a lot like Sarabi from Lion King 2. If you haven't watched that movie, that is probably my favorite straight to video sequel of the Disney franchise, and it is from my favorite movie ever, Lion King. The original one, not the second one. I do like the second one, but and also mentioning that if you look at Fire, he looks a lot like Kovu. So I think they may have taken some inspiration from Lion King. Man, that's crazy. Now, this show is very much an adult situation show, but it does have some funny moments. One of which being Starmane's babysitting style. He's very much how I see myself as a papa, which, watching your children and obviously not paying attention to the actual details of their shenanigans, but, just pretty much making sure they don't die. I think that that is a good way to watch children. If not, hey, leave a comment. Tell me about it. Understanding pride law is the other side of the story. And this I'm going to spoil for you because it's a big part of it. And I'm letting you know it's a spoiler. So at this point, stop listening. All right, you're still here? Okay. When Starmane dies, he has to kill. When Starmane dies, the No Mane has to kill the Cubs in order to take the Pride, and it makes sense because hey, if you leave the kids, they might come back and try and kill you or whatever. And while this does happen in real life prides, whenever a lion takes over a pride, it's still kind of cruel. It still seems kind of cruel. And again, this actually isn't as prevalent as you think. Lionesses in real life actually trick male lions into fathering cubs that aren't theirs. Starmane seems to have been the leader of this pride for quite a while. After kind of looking and seeing how calm he is, the scars that he has, and the battles that you kind of make an assumption that he's been here for quite a bit because he has the respect of obviously his wife and his wife's mother and everybody. He has has that respect. And so it's kind of interesting to see, them after this long-lasting peace, or what we can assume is a long-lasting peace. Now, the animation style of this show is really cool. It's like stills from a comic without being stills from a comic, if that makes any sense. Like, it's motion stills, and it's so cool. I only see this in shows on YouTube, and honestly, I can see how why it's getting so popular, because it's crazy just how good it looks and how well you can tell this story without having the fluidity of something. Again, and that's not saying that the fluidity is bad. I'm just saying it's something new and it's something cool to me. Now, getting back into the story, the fight between Starmane and No Mane is a very bloody and gory fight. It's kind of weird how nature taking its course can be so gruesome. So they did a similar thing that they did with Tarzan, in which they don't show the actual death, but they show the shadow. With Clayton, you know, hanging himself. So yeah, it's not funny, but definitely something that I'm just like, wow, that's that's messed up. And No Mane killing Spark the Cub was probably the most messed up, because you actually hear the wet slice, and then No Mane goes, oops. And Sister, honestly, I think she was just scarred for life. And that's Not to mention, again, when she decided to fight back against No Main, she actually lost her arm or was just scratched so deeply that it tore some nerves and she hasn't been able to use it. And she also got a face mark, like she was scratched on her eye, and now she has a scar for life, which sounds like, someone else we just mentioned, honor. Oh man. Power Strike is probably the most accurate description of what a mother would be in this type of situation. Still loving her cubs, but having to accept the world she lives in. Although her comments about calling her daughter it, because No Man had called sister it, is kind of ironic. Because again, I've seen farther episodes, and I implore you, I really want y'all to binge watch this because it is so binge worthy. Something else about the animation, No Main's smug face and then his pathetic face are so different that it's really funny to see it, and it's kind of like, man, is this the same lion? And I give them props because they made the facial expression so vivid that even it takes care of that fluidity. I won't say issue, but just that fluidity difference. It pulls that difference from it. Last thing I want to talk about is the song. Their credit song is so fire. It's called Ocean in the Dream by In the City, and I promise you, it is so good that I legitimately downloaded it within the first 5 minutes of hearing it. 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, because But seriously, I downloaded this song immediately because it was so good. I would suggest listening to it. It makes me, I don't really read the credits as much, but it makes me want to just stay through the credits just to hear the song. And that's really all I got to say for episode 1. So what are my final thoughts? This was it wasn't a pilot episode. It was a great first episode. It put together everything that it needed to. It told the story. It set things up. And again, knowing things from the future, I can really appreciate how they did this and not giving away so much. They didn't give away a lot, and I really do appreciate that. So what would I give it? I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Why would I give this a lower score? It's not really a lower score, but I've been giving a lot of high scores lately, and why am I giving this such a comparatively lower score? Only because, and this is just a personal thing, obviously it's a personal thing, I wish it was longer. I truly do wish that I could have seen more and that it was a little bit longer, something like 30 minutes or so. And again, 14 minutes isn't bad, but honestly, it's not very long because a lot of it is taken up by credits and the beginning stuff. So it's not very long. There's not a lot of meat. And that would be the same thing with watching Steven Universe. Steven Universe, if you guys remember the first couple of episodes or first season, it was very short and you didn't really know what you were getting. You were like, oh man, this is, just kind of a cool little episodic show until it really got into the meat. And then you're like, why is this so short? Why is this so short? And you loved it for it, but you kind of get aggravated. And that's where I'm at. I love this show. I truly do. I think it's great, but man, I wish it was longer. I honestly wish that they could make it into a full-length show. And honestly, I would watch it. Would I pay for it? Absolutely. Would I ask you guys to pay for it? I can't spend your money, but yes, I would ask you very, very, very nicely to pay for it. So that's my final thoughts on My Pride, episode 1.
Well, that about does it for this episode. This is Chris B signing off. You can find me on Instagram at Final Thoughts Media or go to my YouTube channel, Final Thoughts Media. Catch you guys on the next episode and have a great day.